Perry Service Learning is an elective at Perry High School for seniors. It is a social issues curriculum that has them in the classroom 3 days a week and has them volunteering in the community 2 days a week.
When Mark and I were first given the opportunity to start PSL, I think we thought that it was a really exciting opportunity, and if we could make it last 3 or 5 years, it would be a really neat experience to have. I don't think we ever understood the traction it would get.
You know, the vision was to give students an opportunity to put academics into action. So we not only wanted to be teaching about social issues in the classroom, we wanted them to see how those issues were affecting real people in their community.
We started reaching out to local organizations, and the first place that connected with us was the United Way of Lake County.
They were incredibly helpful in lining us up with our first 20 partner agencies.
We have 3 students this year. I think we had 2 last year. There's just various tasks around the office, whether it's prepping for events, getting materials together, reaching out to donors.
So they help us with the whole gambit, everything from accepting the donations that come in, sorting. We then reorganize everything so that it can be stuffed into our vehicles here that actually go out on the missions and service the homeless. So PSL students, they're a great help around here. They also help with fundraising and the other events that we have.
Perry Service Learning volunteers are energetic, they're dependable, they are accountable for the work that they do, meaning that they want to do a good job and they make sure that it's done correctly. They also, as I have mentioned many times, bring great positive energy to an organization and are very pleasant to work with.
Another neat partnership we have is the 9/11 Day of Service, which is funded by Youth Service America and some grant funding we get from them along with some other community donors. And because of that, we're able to partner with Perry Rec and other government entities as well as the American Legion to do some work at our Perry Fall Festival, to do some work at Perry Cemetery honoring our veterans, and to get our students out of the classroom into the community right from the very beginning of the school year.
I think there's a real misperception out there. A lot of people talk about the senior slump. Allison and I have been real fortunate to see the senior surge. And I think the secret to our success there is because students see real problems that exist in the community and they understand how they can use their talents to solve them.
At the beginning of the year, I did a hurricane fundraiser, which ended up raising over $1,000 to send to Florida and North Carolina to help them recover from the hurricanes. And Mrs. Trentinelli met with me on her own time constantly, same with Mr. Soder, and they helped me formulate a plan, emails, helped me find places to get a raffle basket from so that I can make it all happen. So they're just really, they take time out of their own time.
They're so passionate about the work that they do, and they're so imaginative about what they want to bring to us inside and outside the classroom. I can only hope to have as much of an impact on those around me in my career and be as passionate in my career as those two are.
Being in the inaugural PSL class, I don't think I ever would have thought 20 years later the program would grow to what it has. So fast forward 20 years, I've been here at United Way of Lake County for 14 years.
I think the idea is that you continue to serve your community beyond your 4 or 5 service hours per week, beyond graduation. And I think also the Magnified Giving program that I was a part of here really helped immerse myself in it too, and the grant writing process and all that. And I eventually worked for a nonprofit out of college, and the grant writing process I learned in PSL really helped get me that job, but also be experienced within that job.
Because of the generosity of Magnified Giving, plus a lot of local donors who invest in us, we've been able to give away $26,000 to local nonprofit organizations.
We've had 161,224 hours of service since 2005, over 51,000 pounds of food that have been donated to the Perry Center, $24,700 raised for the Perry Center, and an additional $27,227 raised for the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign. Every year we're recycling 1,500 pounds of aluminum, 4,000 pounds of plastic. The Giving Garden on a slow year is generating 200 pounds of fresh produce for the Perry Center. And then the Power Pack program is providing 12,000 meals plus every year to over 60 students experiencing food insecurity in our district.
When we first started, we sent kids out to volunteer. So we connected them with nonprofits, they had supervisors on site, and we still have partnerships with a huge number of them who do some good work for the community. But a big shift in the last decade is we've also kept some students local to run student-led organizations.
I love the work I do here. We pack meals for elementary school and middle school students for over the weekend. So if they are experiencing food insecurities, we pack food for them. I also stay involved in other people's SMART goals.
The vast majority of the things that have stuck around were student-driven. Whether it was the PSL Green Team, the Giving Garden, the Seniors Helping Seniors program, the Power Pack program, those are all ideas that came from the students.
We've been so fortunate to partner with the Perry Center for the last, I don't know, probably 20 years if you look back at it. And one of the things that we do with them is we host the annual holiday food drive. So as part of that food drive, we collect canned goods both here at school and outside of IGA. We're in charge of ringing the red kettlebell outside of IGA for 1 week every year, along with other different fundraisers we do, which benefits the Perry Center and the Power Pack program.
You know, curriculum-wise, we're studying poverty, we're studying addiction and recovery, we're taking a look at philanthropy, human trafficking, environmental issues. But then service-wise, we kind of center the fall around 9/11 Day of Service. So students are going out, working at the Perry Fall Festival. We also do a beach cleanup, a big Giving Garden harvest around that time. Second semester, the holiday food drive is a huge deal for our students. And then when we get into the third quarter, that's when students do their SMART goal projects. It's a real neat opportunity for students to take some initiative with the organization they serve the whole first semester. And then during the fourth quarter, we have Global Youth Service Month. And again, that's just a variety of activities, including Community Green Day, that students have the opportunity to participate in. One of the few trips that we've been taking for all 20 years of the PSL program is the plunge to Chicago. It's a unique opportunity where students are not just serving an organization, but they're living at the organization that they serve. So the place we stay is called Sukasa. It's a homeless shelter, and students have had the opportunity to live alongside the people that reside there, which is a pretty powerful experience. Especially powerful when we're able to go in December, because in December you're always thinking about, you know, what do you want for Christmas? But we always leave Chicago understanding what we need.
One of the things in PSL that we've been super lucky to have is community who's willing to invest in our kids. And so some of that is the time they invest, willingness to work with volunteers, but we also have some incredibly generous donors who choose to invest money back in PSL. And what we use that money for is student programming. So whether we're bringing in speakers or opportunities like that, we use that to help our fund our student-led programs like Green Team or Power Packs. We're also super lucky that we can give away upwards of $6,000 in scholarships just to PSL students every year, and that's because of the generosity of our donors. What I think is particularly special with some of our donors is they're former PSL students who are now in the prime of their life and in their careers, and they still see the value from when they were students, and they choose to invest and give back.
It's upwards of $15,000 a year to put all the food that goes into the Power Packs. Buying recycled bins for the entire campus costs a lot of money, and maintaining those bins with bags and buying the gloves for the Green Team costs a lot of money. The service trips we take cost money. We do a youth summit every September where we host 15 to 20 schools and 150 to 200 students and teachers to teach them service learning. It costs money to put those things on. We're able to give students that real-world philanthropy experience because of the generosity of our donors.
I don't think I had as much of an awareness of people and the community around me until I did experience that class. And I think coming into college and as I started navigating my young adulthood, that helped me a lot, because it taught me a little bit about what I was passionate about, how I wanted to spend my time in college. I volunteered all 4 years here with the same program with third graders, helping with reading comprehension.
Having a program like PSL allows you to build a culture of caring in your school and in your community. And I'd like to see that go on forever.
They teach us about real-world problems and real-world solutions that can help everyday life, because poverty and homelessness and addiction and all of that is not non-existent. That exists. So I think it's important to learn about that, especially right before we go to college and we're out of our small town. And
It gets not only the students involved throughout the school district, but the community. It allows us to build connections. Like just through Power Packs, I've been able to connect with so many community members and make so many relationships that will last forever.
I think it would be a really important investment in the community if we can always make sure this program continues. And I think it's because it gives students agency and voice in a way that they can use now and not have to wait till they're quote-unquote grown-ups. And I'd love to see students continue to find their meaning and purpose by serving others.